The idea of sending folks back to the moon isn't kind of a been there, done that. This time it's to go there for good and to set up permanent human bases on the moon and use it as a proving ground and a kind of stepping stone for testing the technologies and the resources for moving onwards to Mars and getting humans eventually out to Mars.
Jacqui Goddard has the biggest patch of any Times correspondent, though she covers space for the paper and joins us from Cape Canaveral. She stayed up very late to watch that launch. We can speak to her now. Good morning, Jacqui. I know it's very, very early morning there.
Good morning to you from Titusville, which is just across the water from the launch pad. Yes, it is early morning, but great excitement here. I've been on the Max Brewer Bridge with several hundred families who actually have ashes of loved ones aboard that rocket. So it was a very emotional sight. The rocket, of course, is taking a lander up to the moon, but also then also taking an onward mission to an orbit, perpetual orbit around the sun. So lots of the folks that you can see here, maybe in the background in the dark, are folks who have sent loved ones' ashes up on this perpetual journey to lay their loved ones out to rest in the cosmos.
And what's the feeling there? We're just hearing from Dom that this is a big move for the company's concern. It obviously goes back to the Apollo project as well. What did it feel like as launch took place?
Well, it was awesome because all rocket launches are amazing. This one particularly emotional and particularly significant. Actually, your commentator there, United Launch Alliance has been around for many years. It's incredibly well reputed, well established. It's made actually 158 launches, every one of them successful. So it has nothing to prove here. It's very established. It's not in danger at all. But the fact that they've just sent off their new generation or next generation rocket, the Vulcan Centaur, is highly significant. It's a successor to their previous rocket models that they have. The Vulcan Centaur is powered as well by engines built by Blue Origin, which is Jeff Bezos' outfit. So it's quite a collaboration. And this is taking the first commercial lander to the moon, the first private company to take a lander to the moon, that company being a company called Astrobotic, which built and operates the lander that is going to set down, hopefully on February the 23rd on the lunar surface.
People used to be, in the great space race periods of the 60s, the moon was this major part of our culture, how much we talked about it, particularly where you are now as well. It must have been an incredibly exciting time. Do you think that will start to return? Because there's talk of sending another person to the moon at some point as well. Does that feel like this is back as a sort of subject that people care about again?
It absolutely is. I was just reminiscing with somebody actually alongside me about how we come up from multiple space launches during the space shuttle era, and then it all went dead for a few years, and then NASA got its next generation of space exploration going. What we have now coming up is the Artemis exploration missions. Which are going to aim to send humans around the moon, possibly as early as this November. That will probably slide till next year. And then a mission to actually send humans back to the moon, including the first woman, next year or beyond. And the idea of sending folks back to the moon isn't kind of a been there, done that. This time it's to go there for good and to set up permanent human bases on the moon and use it as a proving ground and a kind of stepping stone for testing the technologies and the resources for moving onwards to Mars and getting humans eventually out to Mars. The moon is important because there is water on the moon. Water is rocket fuel. So you can send humans to the moon and then you need further lift to get out to Mars. It opens up a whole new way of journeying further out into the atmosphere, into the universe.
Well, listen, Jacqui, we'll let you go now. It sounds like it's a fun time to be near Cape Canaveral.
It is. These folks behind me, it's three brothers and or two generations of family. They lost their father very suddenly and unexpectedly in 2022, and they've all come together today, and they were shouting "Go Dad" and waving their father's ashes off to space. It was lovely to see.
Jacqui, great to speak to you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
That's Jacqui Goddard there. She's in Cape Canaveral with a whole bunch of people who sent their ashes on that rocket, which was launched at almost precisely 7:18
I think the Star Trek creators got some sort of remains going up there as well. It is an incredible, I mean, it's a story of human endeavour. It is incredible to think that you're going to get people on the moon and then refuel and get to Mars. I mean, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We couldn't do the northern leg of HS2, so let's not get ahead of ourselves.
We still don't have
people.
Wi-Fi on trains. Let's start small and get there.